All right, today we're going to dive deep into the world of manufacturing efficiency. We're going to explore how the best factories hunt down and eliminate all those hidden problems that just suck the life out of their productivity. And we'll focus on two really powerful ideas, something called overall equipment effectiveness, or OEE, and total productive maintenance. You'll hear it called TPM. So let's jump right in.
So, what if I told you that inside your factory, there's another one, a hidden factory? And this one, it's not making anything you can sell. All it produces is waste, lost time, and defects. It's this massive, invisible drain on your resources. All this untapped potential just poof, vanishes into thin air. Why? Because the problems causing it are almost impossible to see with the naked eye. This right here is the kind of thing that keeps plant managers staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m.
Okay, so if you're going to fight this hidden factory, you've got to know your enemy. You have to be able to name it. And in the world of manufacturing, the enemy has a name: the 6 big losses. Think of these as the classic villains of the factory floor, the culprits that are just systematically chipping away at your productivity. They're the invisible forces that take what should be profit and turn it into, well, nothing but waste. So what do these losses actually look like in real life? Well, you've got the really obvious stuff, right? Like an unexpected breakdown when a machine just flat out dies. But honestly, it's the sneakier ones that get you. Things like minor stoppages. A quick jam, a sensor gets blocked. It only stops the line for a minute or two, but man, do those minutes add up over a shift? Or how about reduced speed? The machine is running, sure, but it's just not hitting that top gear it was designed for. And then, of course, you've got your defects and yield loss, which basically means you're putting a ton of good material in one end and getting way less good product out the other.
See, every single one of these losses is a brick in the wall of that hidden factory. And the real challenge? So many of them are just hard to see. They get lost in the daily chaos of a busy production floor. And it's a simple truth, right? You can't fix what you can't see. So what you need is a tool. You need a map that takes all this invisible stuff and makes it visible. And that map, that amazing tool, has a name. It's called OEE, which stands for Overall Equipment Effectiveness. So let's dig into what that actually is and how it works its magic, how it takes all those hidden, messy problems and translates them into a single, brutally honest score. OEE is pretty much the gold standard for measuring manufacturing productivity. And its genius is really in its simplicity. It somehow takes all the complicated, messy, chaotic problems of a production line and just boils them all down into one powerful number, one percentage. It's a single score that tells you, with no room for argument, exactly how much of your manufacturing time is actually productive. So how does it do that? Well, the OEE score is calculated by multiplying 3 key things together. First is availability. Basically, was the machine running when it was supposed to be running? Simple. Second is performance. How fast was it running compared to its absolute top speed? And third is quality. Of all the parts you made, how many of them were actually good, defect-free parts? A perfect score, 100% OEE, means you're making only good parts as fast as humanly possible with zero downtime. Now, the big goal for a lot of companies, what they call world-class, is to hit 85%. But let me tell you, that is incredibly hard to do.
Let's look at how this plays out with a real-world example. So check out these numbers for a place we'll call Company A. Their quality looks awesome, 95%. Performance is pretty good, 80%. Availability is 75%, not great, but not a disaster, right? I mean, each of those numbers on its own doesn't seem so bad. But here's the catch. Because OEE multiplies them all together, their final score is a jaw-dropping 57%. 57%. That reveals that almost half of the factor's potential is just gone, lost, to all those little issues that add up. And that is the power of OEE. It makes the real cost of all that hidden waste totally impossible to ignore. And suddenly that world-class 85% looks like it's on another planet.
Okay, so OEE is fantastic. It gives you the score. It shines a big, bright spotlight on the problem and tells you just how bad it is. But it doesn't tell you how to fix it. For that, we've got to go beyond just a metric. We need a whole new philosophy of maintenance.
And that's where this idea of total productive maintenance, or TPM, comes into the picture. Now, it's really important to get this. TPM isn't just another program or a checklist of tools. It's way bigger than that. It is a fundamental, ground-up cultural shift in how an entire company thinks about its machines, its processes, and, this is the most important part, its people.
This quote right here,
It absolutely nails the core idea of TPM. It's this shift from I operate and you maintain to I operate and I maintain. It's all about empowering the people who know the equipment inside and out, the operators themselves, to take real ownership of their machines. This whole concept is called autonomous maintenance, and believe me, it is a complete 180 from how things used to be done.
Think about it. In the old world, the reactive world, an operator just runs a machine until it breaks down. Then they pick up the phone and call the maintenance department to come fix their problem. But in the TPM world, it's a partnership. It's a collaboration. Operators are doing the routine stuff themselves, the cleaning, the lubricating, the daily inspections. The entire goal shifts from just fixing things when they break to making sure they never break in the first place. Okay, so that's the theory. We've got OEE to measure the problem and TPM as the philosophy to fix it. But what does this actually look like on a real factory floor? Let's make this super concrete and look at a case study of a battery manufacturer we'll call Company X who put these exact tools to the test. So, Company X started by using their OOEE data to finally get a look at their hidden factory. And they created this Pareto chart. It's basically a simple bar graph that lines up all your problems from the biggest to the smallest. And for them, this chart became their treasure map. It immediately showed them something incredible. Just a handful of problems, what they called the vital few, were causing the vast majority of all their lost time. And the culprits they found, they might actually surprise you. The data showed that their biggest time sinks weren't massive, catastrophic machine failures. No way. It was stuff like scheduled operator breaks, which ate up a full 25% of their downtime. That was followed by the time they spent doing product quality checks at 18%, and then just waiting around for raw materials at 15%. Just those few issues accounted for over 70% of their lost time. I mean, think about that. Without this data, they would have been completely flying blind, probably trying to fix the wrong things. And this is that aha moment. This is where it all clicks. Once they knew what the real problems were, they could create a super targeted battle plan. For example, they tackled the material loading issues with better operator training and some simple standardized procedures. The material shortages, they fixed that with better planning and managing their inventory. The data didn't just give them a score. It led them straight to focused, effective action. But as Company X quickly found out, all the charts, all the data, all the action plans, that's only part of the story. The ultimate success in this whole quest for efficiency, it doesn't come from a piece of software or a fancy spreadsheet. Nope, it comes from the human side of the equation. And that, my friends, is the real secret weapon. Yeah, a successful rollout really hinges on a few critical human factors. First, you need absolute, unwavering commitment from top management. In fact, if you don't have that, it's the #1 reason these things fail, flat out. Next, you need great training for everybody so that everyone from the operator on the floor to the CEO in the corner office understands why they're doing this. It also thrives on daily communication, getting different teams talking to each other. And finally, you absolutely 100% need a champion. And there's a reason this is considered a best practice. This digital champion, they aren't necessarily a manager. Often, they're a super well-respected person right from the shop floor who just gets it. They love the data, they're a great communicator, and they take personal ownership of making the whole thing work. They become that crucial bridge between the numbers on the screen and the people on the floor, solving problems and pushing the change forward, day in and day out. And really, that's the biggest takeaway here. This whole quest for world-class efficiency, it's not a project. It doesn't have a start date and an end date. OEE and TPM, they aren't about a one-time fix. They are tools for a continuous journey. It's a philosophy of relentlessly, tirelessly hunting for those hidden losses and just trying to get a little bit better every single day. And, while this all might sound like it's just about factories, the principle behind it really applies everywhere. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Where are the hidden losses in your own work, or even in your own life? And what kind of map could you create to start finding them?